Question for the Atlanta Falcons, which team will show up today here at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore against the Baltimore Raven team brimming with confidence after their largest comeback in franchise history to open up a 3-game lead in the AFC North. It's the Falcons against the Ravens. Dick Stockton along with Darryl Johnston and Tony Siragusa. The Falcons are truly a Jekyll and Hyde team. 2 disappointing losses in the last 2 games after 2 impressive wins. And a lot of that is reflected on their very talented quarterback, Michael Vick, who has struggled the last 2 weeks and looking to bounce back against a Raven team today who overcame a 19-point deficit in beating Tennessee on the road last week. They are things going their way. They won 3 in a row. So, Darryl, how do you pinpoint Baltimore's success thus far?
Well, everybody's well aware that Brian Billick has taken over the play calling since the bye week. Has really energized this Baltimore Ravens offense, but something else happened during the bye week. Steve McNair had the most demanding offseason of his career because of the timing of the trade with the Titans, and he entered that bye week both physically and mentally drained. And since that time off, he's come back mentally refreshed, and he's got that pop back in his arm, and I think that's just as important reason for their offensive success.
Meanwhile, the Atlanta Falcons come in with that 5-4 record, 1 game behind New Orleans in the NFC South. They don't want to fall farther behind with the big clash next week. So this is a team that has been totally unpredictable this year.
Well, the one thing I know for sure about the Atlanta Falcons is I don't know anything for sure about the Atlanta Falcons. Michael Vick threw for 7 touchdowns when he beat the Steelers and the Bengals back-to-back. He followed that up with 6 turnovers against the Lions and the Browns. His wide receivers have dropped passes at critical times, and everybody knows that injuries are part of the game of football. But when you talk about the sheer numbers that the Atlanta Falcons are coping with right now, it will have an impact on their performance. And now let's head down to the field and Tony Siragusa.
Thanks, Moose. You know, before every game, players go and look at their opponent and try to find a weakness, whether it's a thumb that's wrapped up, an ankle that's sprained, or a knee injury, something they can go and attack. Well, the Atlanta Falcons have to look at this Ravens defense, and by the way, Ray Lewis is not playing in today's game, and see that as a weakness. Look for the Atlanta Falcons to try to exploit the Ravens up the middle in today's game.
All right, Tony, so coming up, it'll be the Falcons and the Ravens from Baltimore.
There was a moment there where I thought, that was a pretty doggone good throw. I can probably play.
My sophomore year against Thomasville, I only got 3 balls. And those 3 went for 144 yards and 2 touchdowns. I knew right then that I was on my way.
The stadium was rocking, it was packed. Got a total of 400-some yards. That's when I knew.
When people stopped calling me Archie's boy, started calling me Peyton, that was a big moment for me.
Hey, I spoke with Ray Lewis before the game. He actually tried to get Ed Reed to smuggle his pads to today's game. That's how bad he wanted to play against Mike Vick and these Atlanta Falcons of today.
All right, and of course, they're going to miss Ray Lewis on the field, and of course, his presence as well, as Adam Jennings will return the opening kickoff as Matt Stover gets this game underway. It is short kick, and Adam Jennings from the 15 returning. Jennings, who was expected to see action at wide receiver, returns it 15 yards to the 30-yard line. So Michael Vick, who has had 4 consecutive games with a touchdown pass, despite the fact that he has struggled, as Darryl chronicled his turnover problems in the last couple of games. The Falcons coming off losses to Detroit and Cleveland after impressive wins in overtime at home against the Steelers and on the road at Cincinnati. Handoff is to Warrick Dunn. And Dunn trying to break out as the Ravens trying to go after the football. Picks up 5 yards. Trevor Price making the tackle on the play. Looking at the offensive line for the Falcons, they've had problems all year at guard. Continue today with the backups P.J. Alexander and Tyson Clabo.
And a lot of the responsibility will fall on Michael Vick's shoulder, but those receivers on this offensive side of the ball, they have got to start making the big catches.
2nd and 5 from the 35. First pass, and It's incomplete. Trying to get it to Ashley Lilly and nowhere near him. Let's take a look at the Ravens defense, one of the best in the National Football League. And there is the front, which includes Trevor Price, who had the big block last week of the field goal.
Jared Johnson getting the start. You've got two big guys there playing linebacker. It'll be interesting to see how they match up against LT Crumpler.
And the defensive secondary, one of the best in the league. And leading the NFL in interceptions are the Ravens with 18. It'll be 3rd down and 5. Multiple receivers. And on the rollout, Michael Vick's pass incomplete. McAllister is over there defending against Ashley Lilly. So it's 3 and out for Atlanta, and they'll have to kick.
The Baltimore Ravens are going to challenge you on the 3rd down situations. If you can't stay ahead of the chains, if you get into situations where really running the ball is not a great option, that's when you're going to see some exotic fronts. We saw it right there. They will try to confuse Atlanta's protection.
DJ Sams going back deep for Baltimore, and Michael Kanan will punt. And we're going to have a flag, and not sure whether Ed Reed got back in time after jumping, trying to anticipate the snap count. And with needing 5 yards, that could be a 1st down for the Falcons, or very close. Bill Levy, the referee.
Neutral zone infraction, number 58 of the defense. The 5-yard penalty will leave it inches short of a 1st down.
And it was Dennis Haley, number 58, who was activated off the practice squad last week. And so it'll be a 1st down.
Here comes the offense back out.
Critical penalty on defense. And it is not a 1st down. It is 4th and inches. But the Falcons and Jim Mora rolling the dice early here. 4th down and less than a yard. And Michael Vick and the offense are back on the field.
That defensive line got to stay low and penetrate. And the Falcons got a key on Michael Vick, because he's going to try and leap over that line of scrimmage and get the 1st.
Out of the eye, and here is Warwick Dunn, and Dunn is stopped. And a defensive stop, and it was Terrell Suggs, number 55, one of many dangerous weapons, and the Ravens take over on down.
Well, you just motioned across to the formation. Everything's going to come this way from the defensive line. They're running right into the teeth. Look at the stunt. Haloti Ngata gets good penetration. Kelly Gregg is on the other side of the line of scrimmage. I don't agree with the call by Jim Mora right there. You've lost 2 in a row. You're on the road. You know you've got some shortcomings because of the injuries. Punt the ball and put your defense on the field.
Instead, he gives the Ravens ideal field position on the 38-yard line of the Falcons. And the pitch to Jamal Lewis. And Lewis defended well by D'Angelo Hall, who comes in and forces the play, and a loss of 3.5 yards. So Steve McNair, who engineered the comeback win, and 374 passing yards, the 2nd most in team history, and beating his former team with a tremendous performance on the road. Loss of 3, 2nd down and 13 on the 41 of the Falcons. Mike Anderson is in at running back, number 38. McNair with the short drop. Completes it to the tight end, Todd Heap. And Todd Heap close to the 1st down. Maybe shy by about a yard. Picks up 12 yards on the play. The offensive line, and a great job they have done, Darrell, in protecting quarterback McNair. Only 14 sacks given up.
And we just saw Todd Heap with a catch there last week against Cleveland. This Falcon defense couldn't match up against Kellen Winslow Jr. They're going to have their hands full today with Todd Heap.
Jamal Lewis checking back into the lineup, and that has been one area as you look at Heap, one of the better tight ends in the NFL. It'll be 3rd down and 1. So Heap continues his consecutive game streak with a catch, and here is Lewis with an opening up the middle. More than enough for the 1st down to the 25-yard line. 4-yard pickup for Jamal Lewis, taking a look at the defensive line, and Paul Carrington making his first NFL start, a rookie, at right defensive end.
And the linebackers really not impacted with injury. Ed Hartwell hasn't played all season, so these 3 have been together for 10 weeks.
And really decimated is the secondary. Allen Rossum not returning kicks today because he'll have to play cornerback. Only his 5th NFL start. First down, play action for McNair. Goes outside, and the pass caught by Derek Mason. And Mason getting just inside the 20 for a 6-yard gain.
The change that we really see in the Ravens offense with Brian Billick calling the plays is establishing a rhythm. And you've seen that right now. They come out, they try to test the perimeter with the running game. It doesn't work. You come back with a short, efficient pass to your tight end. Get back into a manageable third down situation. And the production on first down has been another area, and you saw a nice gain there on their first play.
And their third running back, Musa Smith, who came off with a stinger last week, healthy now and lines up as the tailback and getting the call and going nowhere as Paul Carrington, who did get a sack last week against the Browns, holds Musa Smith to no gain. Here you see the Ravens red zone offense near the bottom of the league, but getting a break here and putting pressure on the Atlanta defense as Jim Mora making the big gamble to go for it on 4th and inches and falling short. 3rd down and 4. McNair goes down. Looked like he tried to get it out to Musa Smith on the flat, couldn't. And a 6-yard loss on the play. Josh Mallard, who's been out of the NFL for 3 years and coming in and making a contribution. So 4th down and a field goal try coming up.
Well, credit that injury depleted secondary of the Falcons. Steve McNair really had nowhere to go with the ball. He tried to step up, but he had to hold it too long. Josh Mallard right there for the sack.
This will be a 42-yard attempt, and that's true. 36 consecutive field goals for Matt Stover, and this kick is no good. So it ends at 36 as he hooks it, and Jim Mora may be cheering himself as he dodged a major bullet here in the first quarter.
Druids Glen Golf Resort, voted European Golf Resort of the Year 2005. A golfer's paradise in the Garden of Ireland. 2 championship golf courses of contrasting design. The luxurious Marriott Druids Glen Hotel and Country Club, featuring 148 specially appointed guest rooms and a magnificent spa and health centre. Visit our driving range, pro shops, golf academy, and get your golfing tips or tuition from our resident PGA teaching professional.
You're watching NASN, the North American Sports Network, a new and exciting sports channel dedicated to the best in live North American sports 24/7. On NASN, you can experience over 100 live NFL games this season, plus the playoffs and the Super Bowl live. Watch up to 175 regular season NHL games and live postseason, including the Stanley Cup Finals. Feel the excitement of live Major League Baseball with up to 260 regular season games and exclusive coverage of the World Series. NASN also brings you an exclusive lineup of college sports with live college football and basketball. And with a daily lineup of sports news, talk shows, highlights, and analysis, NASN is your channel for the very best in live North American sports. Visit NASN.com for scheduling news and information.
So a major streak ends. The score is 0-0. Matt Stover had not missed a field goal since he hit the upright against the Steelers last October in Pittsburgh. So he comes up short on the 42-yarder. And the Falcons, who gambled but didn't lose on that sequence. And now Atlanta's offense back on the field. First down on the 32. Here's Warwick Dunn looking for running room and gets it, and will have a first down as he gets to the 43-yard line, picking up 11 yards before Dewan Landry brings him down. Well,
that's right into the area that Tony Saragusa talked about at the beginning of the game. They're actually in a 3-4. Here's your defensive lineman. So here he comes, Warwick Dunn, right into that area where you'd normally have Ray Lewis.
Michael Vick's pass out on the flat to Algie Crumpler, and Crumpler close to yet another first down. Algie Crumpler, who has been the favorite receiver for the Atlanta Falcons and for Michael Vick. Crumpler, who has 5 touchdown receptions in the last 4 games, and he picks up 9 yards, bringing up 2nd down and 1 in Raven territory. Michael Jenkins coming out to the bottom of your picture. Out of the shotgun, here's Vick. Being chased. And finally flips it to Dunn. And Dunn will have the 1st down and gets it to the 42-yard line, getting 5 yards. And now for our first game break of the day, let's get out to Chris Rose in Los Angeles. Chris.
All right, Dick, Cincinnati really the only team that could catch Baltimore in the AFC North. Here, Chad Johnson catching one from Carson Palmer. Johnson, 260 receiving yards last week, 41 and 6 points on that one. They're up a touchdown on the Saints. Back to Dick, Moose, and Goose.
All right, very much. Thank you, Chris. And the Falcons, good news for them right now. But Cincinnati trailing by 3 games as Michael Vick tries to get it to the 34-yard line to Michael Jenkins. And the pass is caught. Good catch by Jenkins for 8 yards.
And that's something that we should continue to see throughout the afternoon. They want to get Michael Vick on the perimeter in the passing game. So we're going to see a lot of bootleg passes. We're going to see him put out on the edge to get away from all that pressure and that speed that the Ravens can generate.
2nd down and 1 on the 33.
The Ravens challenging that catch on the last play. They showed the replay. The crowd started to go. You saw Atlanta get up to the line of scrimmage and try and get a quick snap, but they had emotion involved with the play, so it took a little longer.
The ruling on the field that it was a catch.
It was a low throw, and Jenkins would have had to make a terrific catch if he did. Challenged by Billick. We'll be back to Baltimore in just a moment.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. It's a catch. Baltimore will be charged their first time out.
So now the Ravens, and Jenkins did have appeared both hands under the ball.
He does a good job. He gets down real low, gets his hands underneath right there. You can't really tell what happens when it gets into his body. And because there's no real indisputable visual evidence, a good effort by Michael Jenkins to get down and dig that one off the turf.
2nd down and 1. Falcons on the Ravens 33. Warwick Dunn, he gets the 1st down as he drives to about the 30-yard line, picking up 3 yards on the play. The Atlanta Falcons, and you saw Jenkins catch a pass. They have the fewest receptions of wide receivers on any team, and there you see Fred McCrary, who's slowly getting up. McCrary going into the game, according to the plan, was to get some carries, and he had not carried the ball all year long, the 10-year veteran, but he was expected to get some plays in the backfield. He's hurt, and we'll take a timeout. Crowd here in Baltimore, and the temperature right about 49 degrees and cloudy skies, although we have some sunshine right now. The lights have been turned on. It'll be 1st down at the 30 for the Falcons. Hand off to Warwick Dunn, and Dunn is tripped up. Fine defensive play by Haloti Ngata, the rookie from Oregon.
Well, Fred McCrary got his feet tangled up, got an ankle sprain on that last play. Watch his right ankle. Watch right in here as he's coming through to get the block on Terrell Suggs. You see it kind of get rolled underneath him there, and then he's got Tyson Claypool, big offensive lineman, stepping on top of it while it's getting rolled up. So hopefully Fred will be able to shake that off and get back on the field.
Dan Cody, who has yet to play in an NFL game, has been injured, but active this week. Number 53 is in the game, and the end around to Adam Jennings. And Adam Jennings is run out by Corey Ivy, who suffered a concussion last week. The former Ram makes a fine defensive play and a 5-yard loss for Jennings.
This is going to be a tough play to run against a defense that's already prepared for the bootlegs. Corey Ivy's on the outside, so you want to have contained just in case Michael Vick is going to boot out. So you really run in the reverse right back into a situation that defense is already waiting for.
Well, Ivy played that perfectly, Darryl, and now it'll bring up 3rd down and long for Handoff to Dunn, and he's going to be hit and knocked back. Terrell Suggs with a big defensive play, and you can just see the speed of the Raven defense making its presence felt. A loss of 4 yards, 4th down coming up.
And here you get a look at the front. You've got a linebacker way out here, safety up. Here comes Adelius Thomas, another safety off the corner there. It's one of those exotic fronts that you get, and when Atlanta gets into those 3rd down situations, you've got to trust and believe in your protection rules. Don't look around and all of a sudden try to start fitting things in to a specific defensive front.
Michael Kanan will punt, even though the Falcons are inside the 40 and they had the blocking play on. And it's going to bounce at the 5-yard line and be down by the Atlanta Falcons at the 1-yard line. And it was Moreeeee who made the play. Well, he may not be dressed, but he's having an effect even before the game. Ray Lewis and the Ravens. No score here in the first quarter with 6:18 remaining. The Falcons, believe it or not, this is the first game they played in this city since 1969 when they lost to the then Baltimore Colts. But the now Baltimore Ravens have a first down on their own 2. And here's Jamal Lewis. Pretty good effort coming out of the 2-yard line. First down. D'Angelo Hall making the tackle. And let's see where they spot the ball, and it appears it is a first down for the Ravens.
That's a big run by Jamal Lewis because field position is so critical. Moreeeee made a good play on that previous punt to get Baltimore backed up right at their 2-yard line. The first play, he rips off almost 10 yards.
And now it is almost 10 yards because they moved the sticks back. They started to move them, but it'll be a 2nd down and 1. But certainly better than what they faced. Jamal Lewis, the last season and a half, has only 3 100-yard games. Only 1 this year. Play action inside the 5. Pass is tipped and then caught. Mark Clayton with the reception on the deflection. And it was Chris Crocker, the free safety, who got a hand on it. And Clayton with 17 yards moves it out to it, a first down for sure.
And there's Chris Crocker down in the box right there. He's reading Steve McNair's eyes. He gets back, but he just can't get enough of it. It tips right into Mark Clayton. Earlier this season, he had a 2-touchdown game, and both of those touchdowns came off deflection. So he just seems to be in the right spot at the right time all year.
So starting from the 2-yard line, the Ravens moving it out to the 28. First down with under 5 minutes to go in a scoreless first quarter. Here's Jamal Lewis. And Lewis moving the pile up past the 30-yard line. D'Angelo Hall making the tackle. Lance Schulters is in the lineup right now. And Darrell, you talked about the devastating injuries to the Falcon defense. But in the secondary, they've lost Jason Webster, cornerback. Kevin Mathis, a very important nickelback. So Derek Johnson and Lance Schulters were signed this week, so they're playing their first game in a Falcon uniform after being signed this week. 2nd down and 7 from the 31. Pressure, and not picked up was Paul Carrington, who already has made an impact in this game early on.
Well, he had a good game last week, and he's off to another good start today, just coming off that right defensive end position. They bring Demario Williams inside. Jonathan Ogden's got 2 guys coming. You do the right thing. You take the inside guy, let the guy farthest away from the quarterback come free. Now it's up to the quarterback and the wide receivers to be in sync and be able to make that completion.
Carrington had a sack against the Browns, as we said, and of course John Abraham and Patrick Kearney are out, as are Ed Hartwell. 3rd down and 7. Bruce Smith, the running back, in a pass situation, and it's Smith on the reception, and he is tackled. D'Angelo Hall making the play after a 4-yard pickup, but a big play it was for Hall because that will force the Ravens to kick.
Atlanta's doing a really good job down here, guys, just watching, of bringing pressure from all different places. Outside, inside, moving around. I don't think Jonathan Ogden has had the same player on him 2 plays consecutively in this past situation.
And this has been a team, Tony, that has been very susceptible in the pass department, defensing against the throws. You see Allen Rawson back deep, returning the punt. Sam Cook, the rookie from Nebraska. A low kick. Rawson at the 25. Gets by the first man. gets by a few more. Alan Rawson getting into Baltimore territory and finally being forced to step out of bounds inside the 40-yard line. So once again, good field position on a 37-yard punt return by Alan Rawson. No score here in the first quarter with 3:22 remaining. Dick Stockton along with Darrell Johnston and the Goose, Tony Siragusa. Alan Rawson had a big kick return week against the Steelers with 220 yards, not returning kickoffs because he's playing cornerback, but what a job he's doing in the punt department.
Yeah, that's the big thing now that he's pressed into service as a starting corner. They're really worried about his opportunities in the return game, and you can see how important he is on that last punt return.
First down for the Falcons on the Raven 38. And the handoff is to Jarius Norwood, and no Vic on the fake going outside. Great fake to Norwood, and Vic going outside, getting 11 yards and the first down.
You know, we talked about the kick with Alan Rawson, and he just does a great job. If you watch Gary Steele's right here, number 56 coming in the middle of your screen, he just makes him miss, freezes him up for a second, and then the Atlanta Falcons do a great job of building a wall right there down the side. All Alan Rawson has to do is go as far as he wants to go in that situation.
Well, Michael Vick with his first carry of the game, and it's a first down on the 27 of Baltimore. Jarius Norwood in the backfield, but Vick is going to throw, and then it's Norwood or Griffith, the fullback, and Justin Griffith getting inside the 20-yard line, picking up 8 yards. We saw Fred McCrary, the starting fullback, knocked out of action early, so Griffith in there now.
Just watching this defense, if you watch right here, they're going, they're getting pressure, but they get their hands up. See them get their hands up, they're going to tip balls because Michael Vick is not a real tall guy. He throws a very flat ball, and they're going to get some of these balls tipped. You see Kelly Gregg right there getting his hands up.
But so far, Tony, Vick has made solid decisions, and that's what he did when they won the 2 games against Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. Handoff to Dunn, who dives to about the 12. Kelly Gregg was there to bring him down. And Warwick Dunn getting 6 yards, has averaged nearly 4.5 yards per carry this year. And there you see the Falcons, the first 5 weeks in the red zone last. Here's Vick, caught, and it'll be a touchdown to Michael Jenkins. Jenkins with a touchdown reception, 13 yards, and no defender anywhere near him.
Well, Adalius Thomas got there, but he got there a step too late. Michael Vick stood in that pocket, looked straight down number 96 coming into his face, and delivered a strike to Michael Jenkins in the end zone.
So the crowd silenced, and the Atlanta Falcons certainly coming out with a much better start. That has been their problem. Taken a while to get underway, particularly the last 2 weeks. And Morton Anderson, the ageless one, with the extra point, and the Falcons take a 7-0 lead. Jenkins with his 5th touchdown catch of the year.